Welcome to 5 Minutes of X, the show that turns every out-of-town trip into an excuse to Google comic shops near me and then dig through somebody else's long boxes. I'm here in Canton, Ohio for an event for one of my sons, and I've got a little time to kill. One of my favorite things about comic shops is that they're not chains. Every single one of them is different. There's no Walmart for comics. So some stores are like treasure hunts with long boxes everywhere, unsorted and overflowing with like hidden gems if you're just willing to dig for them. I've been in places where I worried a tower of comics might collapse if I breathed wrong, but most are packed with awesome statues and toys and comics spanning all kinds of eras and publishers. Almost every shop has a new release wall. It's stocked with books from the past week or two. Then there's the backstock section, which is usually rows of long boxes filled with older treasures and sometimes cheaper books. That's usually where I camp out. Near the counter, you'll typically find a high value case or wall with the really rare stuff, and that's why I'm posting today. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit more about comic shops in general. Most are run by quirky dudes like me, guys who just want to talk comics and pretend they're not actively avoiding real responsibilities. It's the kind of vibe you can't really fake. My wife has driven past my weekly local shop more than once, seen my car in the lot, and just sighed, knowing I'm safe, deeply content, and absolutely useless for the next few hours. Of course, sometimes you hit a dud, a store where the owner is burned out, rude, and just not interested in deals or conversation. That's always kind of a bummer. Back home, my regular shop is Our Comic Shop in Milford, Ohio, just outside of Cincinnati. The owner, Nick, and the walking comic encyclopedia, Derek, have become good friends of mine. I go in with a weekly comics budget in mind and blow past it almost every single time. It's basically a tradition at this point. It's a great store, and if you're ever in the area, you should check it out. I'll drop their Facebook link in the comments. Today, I visited a store here in Canton called Hazel's Heroes, Comics and More. I walked in and found two dudes behind the counter talking trash and building Star Wars Lego, so I knew I was in good shape right when I appeared. The shop was clean, it was well lit. Behind the counter was this gem, X-Men number 9. Now, I've already filmed the episode where this issue is reviewed, and that issue, or that episode, drops July 16th, but this is now officially my lowest numbered X book. I also snagged a copy of X-Men 48 at a decent price. But as for 9, this copy of this issue is pretty rough. It's got chipped edges and a bad spine. There's some fading. The pages are all there though. Honestly, as a collector, low grade is better than no grade. That's what we always say. I don't usually grade my books. I'm not planning on grading or slabbing this one. For me, it's not really about value. It's about the history and the chase of the comics. This is a really cool worn-in piece of 1960s comic book magic. I just read the issue on the Marvel app a few weeks ago so that I could review it, but it's just not the same. I love the Marvel app, but holding the real thing and like flipping through the ads for sea monkeys and muscle programs for boys in the 60s who wanted to get strong, that promise to stop the beach bullies and all that, it always catches me off guard, and I love it every single time. Also, smelling the old comics, that old pulp and ink combo you only get from vintage comic books, that's the good stuff. That's what makes collecting super fun to me. Well, you survived another session in the Danger Room. For more character info, reading lists, and whatever else, whatever nerdy projects I'm tangled up in, head on over to Jordy.com. New episodes drop Wednesdays at noon and Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern, unless there's an addendum issue like today. Remember, not all who wander are lost. Some are just hunting for that missing issue of Mutant Massacre.